There's a day when the entire lacrosse world stops and stares. A matchup between the two most storied programs in the history of this sport. Red or blue, win or lose, do or die. This is battle. This is passion. This is the rivalry. All eyes are on College Park for the biggest game of the season thus far. It's a series rich with history. Some of the best players to ever wield a lacrosse stick have donned these uniforms. We do it all again today for who else but Maryland and Johns Hopkins. Fresh off the heels of another ranked road win in the Big Ten, the Terps look to continue momentum down the stretch. But with the game tomorrow against Nebraska postponed, they had to scramble to find an opponent, and they did that from Division II. It's the Maryland Terrapins taking on the Wingate Bulldogs. Welcome into the Xfinity Center in College Park. Brendan Hartlove alongside Ben Curtis. Ben, great to be back with you. This is a game that just popped up on Maryland's schedule a couple days ago. They don't know much about the opponent, but they didn't really care about that. They were just hoping to avoid that 9-day layoff in the midst of Big Ten season. The Saturday sun is shining down on College Park as we inch closer to a big-time battle in the Big Ten. Jared Bernhardt on the verge of history for the Terrapins, and the Nittany Lions looking to spoil the party. It's the number 3 Maryland Terrapins taking on the number 19 Penn State Nittany Lions. The postseason beckons after a chaotic regular season that saw games canceled, programs paused, and mentalities challenged. But we've made it to the Big Ten tournament. It's the Maryland Terrapins taking on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Brendan Hartlove alongside Ben Curtis here at Ludwig Field in College Park for the Big Ten Network. And Ben, we look at both of these teams. It's the 4-5 game, so teams that finished around the middle of the table in the regular season, but a big opportunity to prove themselves today. Long, quick restart by Rutgers to the far side. Lurking in the middle was Colin Beasley. Rutgers not clear yet towards the end line. Cut back and another save by Lowell. Quick down to his right-hand side to parry it outside of the post, but Rutgers applying the pressure and attempting to double their lead from that attempt, and they'll have another off this corner kick.
Well, Jamie Lowell has certainly shined here in the second half for Maryland. That big save earlier on against Richie Berry, and now this one low and from a sharp angle. The goal against him certainly can't be attributed as his fault, and he's come up with a couple of huge saves to keep Maryland in it.
Malon delivers towards the center. Headed up by Brett St. Martin for Maryland. Tracking it back down is DeVizio. Clips it towards the center. Rindolph the header that time. Lowell went to ground and lost his footing. A little bit of contact there, and Mike Stutt calls a foul as it was Lowell who did get bumped around a little bit. They will stop the clock so that Maryland can collect the ball and get this back underway.
I think the Terps might have been shouting for a yellow card there for time wasting with the ball being kicked down the field.
Lowell lofts it forward. DeVizio wins the header in midfield. Suhetsky is forced to play it back. St. Martin goes once more to Jamie Lowell cleanly. And Lowell, with his left foot, sends it out to Nitzel. And Nitzel just couldn't quite get on that one, and it goes out of play again.
Nitzel tried to collect and turn all in one fell swoop and ended up running out of space down that left sideline.
Suhetsky cuts it out in midfield. Now Matsalevich has the run of Gielen ahead of him, and he sends him for a chase. Legwenick shielding. And he's going to have to make a play on it eventually, and makes a good one in the end, but it's given away to Bender. Freshman gets it back. Tries to send the overlap for Richardson, but Malon did very well to track back, and it was not the best pass out to Richardson, but the Terps have won a throw-in. Quickly taken to Justin Harris. Suhetsky. Nitzel forward to Gielen. German continues his run. Gielen at the top of the box has a strike with the right foot, and he buries it. Justin Gielen levels it at 1. A sensational strike from the junior. Two incredible finishes in the second half of the Big Ten tournament quarterfinal. Justin Gielen, the equalizer for Maryland.
And the fantastic finish from Rutgers equalized by an even more stellar finish there from Justin Geelan from a long way out. And we are back to square one, Brendan, and I'll tell you what, it may not be a full Ludwig field, but the energy in this place has been fantastic all day. It's been commensurate with the game, which has been back and forth, end to end, and 2 sensational goals, one for each team.
Justin Geelan's last goal, November 21st, 2019, against Iona in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Maryland without Jason Russell-Rowe, without Paul Bin, and they looked for answers up top, and Justin Geelan delivered. Nitzel does exceptionally well to read that one and cut it out from Divisio, and the Terps looked to come the other way, but tracking back was Gabriel Addo, and Suhetsky a little lackadaisical. Clipped towards the near side, Divisio, but the flag was up on the near side. For what it's worth, Lowe made a pretty good save, tipping it off the pipe.
Yeah, he couldn't have known about the offside flag at the time and was really alert to it. That kind of really shows how Jamie Lowell's locked in. It's easy to say now that we're at 1-1, but how important is that save now on Barry? A while ago back in the second half, that would have represented what is now the go-ahead winning goal. Instead, we're deadlocked at 1.
Both goalkeepers have made some sensational stops in this contest.
I don't think either goal can be at the fault of the keeper.
Geelan flicked it on in the direction of Matsalevich, but cut out by the Rutgers back line. And when you look at that Geelan goal, it was the defenders that just did not come out and close him down and afforded him that time and space. Now Johnston on the near side sends it into the box with the right foot. Harris was lurking under it. It falls to Suhetsky, who takes it off the chest.
Well, in fairness to Rutgers, Brendan, Justin Geelan has shown the pace that he can have and the ability to break down defenders, so they want to make sure that they sat off. And I think you can't ask for anything more than this in a Big Ten quarterfinal. 2 goals that were very much earned, not given.
Bender weaving on the near side for Maryland. With the left foot, sends it to the back post for Geelan, who was, again, making a darting run towards the far side of the field.
Have to imagine Justin Geelan is just brimming with confidence at the moment. A strike like that going into the back of the net will certainly do that to you as a striker.
Was the first goal of the season for Justin Geelan, as he had been getting more minutes off the bench behind the likes of Eric Matsalevich, Jason Russell-Rowe, and Paul Bin. But when his number was called, he certainly delivered. So we're under 5 minutes left in the 90. Lofted forward in the direction of Matsalevich, chested down by Cole Sotak. And Oren Asher will corral that one before bowling it out to Legwenick. Legwenick fizzes one down the near side. Barry gets under it, keeps it in, and sends Divisio on his way. No one in the box for Rutgers at the moment. And Richardson tracked back to prevent that one from getting to Maryland again. A go from distance from Gabriel Addo. But that one is well wide, and another goal kick coming up for Jamie Lowell.
Both of these teams certainly seem like they're going for the win in the 90. Don't want to have to push it to an overtime period. And I'll tell you what, Brendan, it's great to have some fans here. But with the goals that have been provided, the energy that has been provided on the field, this feels like a game that deserves to be played in front of a usual Ludwig Field crowd, a raucous Ludwig Field crowd, a capacity Ludwig Field crowd.
Bender heads on for Geelan. And he takes a touch over the top, trying to keep it in the freshman. He does so towards the end line. Lofts it towards the back post. Matsalevich was there, but a sprawling Oren Asher punches that one to the far side of the field. And now Rutgers coming the other way, and Richie Berry just doesn't have it in him right now to make that run. And it was a tough one down the left-hand side. And Berry is still in the game, but we've just seen him moving a little slowly, lagging a little bit, and you can tell he may not be at 100% right now. 61-48 is the Maryland Terrapins lead over the Michigan State Spartans. Brendan Hartlove and Matt Levine bring you the action from the Xfinity Center in College Park. And with under 4 minutes to play, the Terps have led for the entire game. They started off on an 11-0 run, and when you look at the series history between these two teams, now 16 games, the Terps have never had a wire-to-wire win from beginning to end, and they have a pretty commanding lead right now in 61-48, but with 4 minutes left, a lot can happen.
we'll see how Michigan State responds out of this timeout, because you mentioned they haven't hit a shot from the field in over 4 minutes. They had a couple free throws go down, but other than that, they've been struggling to shoot the ball. It's been really impressive, this Maryland defense right now. Just everywhere they go, the Spartans seem to run into a Maryland player defensively. And it's been a struggle of late, and Maryland's capitalized on that, really having a big opportunity here with making their last three shots from the field, and Ayala at the line.
Ayala makes the first attempt of 2, and before that point right there, 8 straight points for the Terrapins that come from the city of Philadelphia in Dante Scott and Hakeem Hart. Eric Ayala makes the second as well. 63-48. The Spartans will let this one roll about halfway down their side of the floor. Pass into the top of the key for Aaron Henry, who goes off the glass and is fouled. So he will head to the line in an attempt to find his first points of the second half. Wiggins picks up his third, and that's the 8th for the Terrapins.
Credit to Aaron Wiggins, who picked up 2 fouls, not even halfway through the entire first half. Just about 9 minutes in or so, he got called for his second one. And now just his one here, just called on him in the second half. So he's done a really good job defensively of not becoming too overzealous to pick up big fouls when he had 2 in the first half.
Henry makes the first free throw, sending him to 10 points on the day. Makes the second as well. As I mentioned, the first points of his second half. Now his 21st game scoring in double figures this season. And a higher press employed by Tom Izzo against the Terrapins. Ayala gets it across midcourt with 3.5 to play. Wiggins on the near side, defended by Hall. He drives through the lane, lost his footing. Really no contact there to shout for a foul, but now the Spartans bring it down the other side of the floor. Langford has it. He goes into the low post for Hall. Dip of the shoulder, kicks out top to Aaron Henry. Thought about the 3, instead puts up a contested 2, and it falls to Eric Ayala.
I mean, Aaron Henry has been a non-factor here in the second half. Has struggled shooting, has turned the ball over a couple times. He's shooting 4 of 16 from the field, and with 9 points in the first half, he's only got 11 total on the game.
In that 3-game winning streak, he's been averaging almost 22 points per game, and it's only at 11 right now with under 3 to play. Scott finds Ayala storming through the lane. A sneaky little pass, and Ayala applies the finish. The Terps are up 15 with 2:40 to play. And a timeout called by Tom Izzo. A much-needed one, as this one really slipping away from the Spartans. It's been over 5 minutes since Michigan State has found a shot from the floor, and the Terps, on the other hand, have made 4 of the last 4.
And it's been an extremely impressive performance continuing on the defensive end for Maryland. They have not allowed a field goal to go in for the Spartans in the last 5 minutes and 17 seconds. Again, the scoring droughts that Maryland had costs them, and Michigan State comes back. Now you're seeing it on the other side, and what a great time for Maryland to have the scoring drought be in their favor and Michigan State be the team with the drought. Now up by 15. They were up by, Michigan State trailed by 5 maybe about 10 minutes ago. It hasn't been that long, and it's just completely shifted the script here. And it's really everybody on this Maryland team. Everybody's contributing. We mentioned it not being so balanced, but it has turned into that pretty much, with Scott starting to go a little bit. Hart has 10 points now, so everybody really getting involved on both sides.
65-50, and a bucket down low comes in from Joey Hauser. 65-52 with 2.5 to play. And a not completely aggressive press by Michigan State as Langford makes it just a bit more difficult for Ayala to get it up, but he does, and now Aaron Wiggins has it on the near side. Again, Maryland going right to left, and there was a whistle off the ball.
Michigan State foul.
So a foul on Rocket Watts. That's his 4th. 19th foul for the Spartans, and Morcell will be at the line. Now, Morcell does have 11 points, and you know what that means. When Daryl Morcell is in double figures, it's always a good thing for the Terrapins. 22 and 2 dating back to the start of last season, when the senior from Baltimore has more than 10. He did miss the free throw there, short. It is 65-52. We approach 2 minutes to play. Hauser down low and trying to get his own rebound off the miss. He does at a second attempt, and he is fouled down underneath the basket. So Aaron Wiggins picks up his 4th now.
And on that previous possession on the other end, Morcell missing the free throw. That's the first missed shot from the line today for Maryland. They're 17 of 18 now. And that is where they have been picking up, obviously, 17 points, but just so many opportunities when the clock stops to keep putting points on the board. And it's so rare for them to have that many made and just one missed. And that's really a recipe to win a ball game here late in the season.
And Hauser missed both free throws. Michigan State has not had the same success from the free throw line, shooting 60% to Maryland's 94%. And that's really a testament to the progress this team has made over the course of the season. They did struggle from the free throw line at times, but have really put on a spectacle from the stripe this afternoon. 65-52, a minute and a half, 5 on the shot clock for Ayala. Going through the lane, he ran into some trouble and was fouled. So he will head to the line for about the 87th time today.
His 10th and 11th now. Shots from the line, but he's perfect, 9 of 9. Been phenomenal getting to the basket, I mentioned, as the veteran point guard now. Driving to the basket and just drawing contact and knocking them down from the line.
Consistently a factor from the stripe. Eric Ayala now up to 19 points on the day, 4 of 10 from the floor. And he makes the second as well. Eric Ayala is up to 20 points, and he's done it all with just 1 3-point bucket. Coming early on in the first half. Here's Joshua Langford. Now Hauser a 3, and he got that one. Couldn't make him from the stripe, but makes from behind the 3-point arc. It's 67-55 with 1:18, and the fouling begins.
Michigan State foul on Joey Hauser.
Joey Hauser picks up his second.
This looks like it's turning into what should be a massive win for Maryland. Up 12 right now with an opportunity to pick up 2 more points here with 1:18 to go. And a tough, what looks like to be a loss for Michigan State, which is sitting right on the bubble right now as one of the last 4 teams in the NCAA tournament. We'll see how this affects that and their tournament hopes late here in March.
So Dante Scott makes the second to take us to 69-55, 1:15 to play. Rocket Watts trying to find something on the other end for the Terrapins. And nothing. Ayala down to Wiggins, who goes up the 360 dunk to put an exclamation point on this game. 71-55, a minute to play, and the Terps an all-around performance here in College Park. Langford has a 3, missed that one as well, and Wiggins with the rebound. He is fouled and will head to the line. That was really something else from Aaron Wiggins. He didn't have to do it, but he had to do it.
I was devastated, like, I'm not gonna lie.
On the first day of preseason, Maryland men's soccer senior Paul Bin tore his ACL.
After I heard the pop, like my leg kind of just like gave in, and then I just like kind of crashed to the ground.
2 years ago, Paul took a year away from the program to overcome severe depression. So that afternoon, when he asked to be the one to tell his teammates the severity of his injury, there was not a dry eye in the locker room.
Wow, the maturity, the composure, the ability to reconcile within the hour that his season was over.
3 days later, Paul flew home to South Korea to have surgery on his knee. After a few weeks recovering at home, Paul is back in College Park to get the ball rolling with the Terps.
He's an incredibly positive guy. He's an energetic guy. And as soon as he got back here, I think, you know, it's been just a lot of positive energy.
Paul admitted that the most difficult part has not been the physical toll.
Just me getting inside my own mind, like, okay, like, will I ever be the player that I was? Will I ever return and be able to run as fast as I used to run?
It's still a long road ahead, but Paul already has goals for his redshirt senior season.
Hopefully another national championship. That would be the icing on the cake.
For WMUC Sports, I'm Brendan Hartlove.